All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Rutland Town Select Board. Today is April 7th at 6 p.m. We have a full board with us tonight. I think I started your end last time. So Kurt Hathaway, Joe Denardo, Mary Ashcroft, Matt Getty, and Sharon Russell. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Select board minutes for March 24th are in your packet. And 1, 2, 3, we're all here. So is there a motion? That motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes. Are there any additions, deletions, corrections? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, and I'll circulate. Approval of orders. See, I've seen them. Matt and Sharon have seen them. Joe, have you seen them?
Yeah, yes, I move that we approve the orders.
Okay, motion's made. Is there a second and seconded? Any additions, corrections to the orders? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Are there any abstentions?
One abstention.
Okay.
Yeah.
So motion carries 4-0 with one abstention. Thank you. Board member announcements. Are there any?
Yes.
Okay, yes, please.
The other day, I was in my home and cooking and I got a knock at the door. I looked, it's my neighbor from the road down. And I said, come on in. He said, no, get the hell out of your house. It's on fire. It was. Rutland Town Fire Department got there. When they got there, it looked like my whole field was on fire because my husband explained that when it's so cold and the fire comes out of the chimney, it drops down. And number one, first on the phone was Kurt. Sharon, what's going on? And then my house is on fire. Get out of the house. And Kurt showed up. The Rutland Town Fire Department showed up. I can't tell you how lucky we are to have that group of men because they did one heck of a good job in spite of having to put up with me. So I felt that you all should know that we are lucky, that our department heads are as good as they are. So
seems to be something going around though.
Yeah, really.
Although we don't all test it.
Okay.
Same neighborhood too, kind of.
Something near.
Well, thank you all very much. Sorry you had to go through that. You know, when you linked it to cooking and then there was a fire, I started wondering there just a bit. But I did hear something about whoopie pies coming direction.
yes, I did. I made 63 whoopie pies for the fire department
It's
to
nice.
thank them. And then I didn't want to forget Kurt.
Right.
So I called him and said, Kurt, I've got something for you.
They were tasty.
Oh, so you weren't
So,
gonna share.
did you actually have a fire or was it just from the chimney?
It was, I mean, the fire was coming out of there like
Yeah.
wow.
It was held in the chimney, but
Chimney
It
fire?
was in the chimney.
Okay.
luckily
And
that
this
was
is
very
the
good
first
chimney.
year that Mr. Russell had not gone up and cleaned the chimney.
Always comes back to bite you.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. So then I called Marie down in Florida and said, listen, before somebody calls and tells you your house is on fire, it's not yours, it's mine.
It's good of you.
So, but I just,
Thoughtful neighbors.
I was very impressed with every single one of them.
Good.
So,
Good group.
and I hope they like the whoopie pies. So, did you give one to your uncle?
Yeah.
You did.
Okay, any other member announcements? Update. The Rutland Town, Rutland City Intermunicipal Committee to plan the 250th anniversary of either independence or Vermont's establishment. I'm not sure if we confirmed that yet. We will meet tomorrow evening at 5:30 at City Hall. This is to plan festivities. So Mike Rowe, I do believe, is going to be able to be there, and Ted Washburn. Now, I'm not sure why they invited the police department. I don't know what they have in mind, but
Mary, I'll be there.
okay, good,
That's my
thank you.
committee.
Okay,
If we nuke anybody during this meeting, I will not attend that one. I will skip it. Otherwise, I plan to be there.
okay, very good. Thank you. All right, any questions from the floor or public comments? See the usual folks and one addition live and in person here. Nobody with a hand raised on the Zoom. So. Okay, very good. We're going to move into, gonna disrupt our usual order of things and go with action item A. We're going to meet with Andres Terizo from Watershed Consulting to discuss our MS4 projects in the town. And we have information in our packet about that. And Andres, why don't you come on up, please? Good evening, and thanks for coming down.
Yeah, good to see everybody
Yeah,
in person. Don't do it much these days anymore.
yeah, I'd say, well, spring, good driving weather, but perhaps not.
Yeah. Great. So yeah, the board has the memo that
Mhm.
was drafted from my office,
Yeah.
April 1st. So happy to just kind of run through things and give the board an update. I think the first thing on this list is the Windmere project, which is probably the most
Yeah,
timely. And there's the most going on with that, so maybe just start with that. So just to recap, we had a good site visit this afternoon. So we met on site with Kurt and Joe and Dave and Gary from Windmere. And essentially, this project has taken a long time to get to this point with some of the permitting hurdles and getting the landowners engaged and on board, and it seems like we've made a lot of progress. We're almost through permitting. Hopefully, we've had to deal with an Act 250 amendment, and we have information back to Act 250. We're kind of waiting on final permit approval for that because it needs an amendment. So maybe just to quickly back up, the project is basically expanding out the pond at Windmere, really doubling the size of it and extending it off into the woods. And so this is a needed project for the town's MS4 permit, so their compliance permit with the state. And it's, so it's something that has to be done at some point. And we have the Act 250 piece is there. We have the block grant. The town has the block grant through the state, and the block grant is really probably good for about half of the cost of the project. So what we were hoping to do was try to get the other half of the project funded through another grant. And I was working with Bill. We submitted a grant that was available through this Watersheds United group, which had some state funds. And unfortunately, they didn't award the project because it's a regulatory requirement and they're not allowed to basically fund a project that would otherwise be required. There's another grant opportunity that's out right now. I got the same response on that. So unfortunately, we talked about this on site. It's kind of unfortunate that a lot of these grant programs don't directly fund regulatory projects. So we, this morning I sent an email to this woman, Gianna, at the state, who is kind of the financial clean water service clean water section at the state, her position is really dealing with a lot of the funding stuff. I sent her an email explaining the situation and asking if she had any other ideas about any other potential funding opportunities, because the town's block grant is up at the end of the summer. It's up, it expires at the end of August. And so the hope is to really spend down that grant. And so that was why we wanted to put this, put those funds towards that project.
So how much is the grant?
The grant,
have?
you guys have, I think we maybe 180,000, I think, but we were assuming, I think 150 could go to this because there's some other ongoing work that we're doing currently to that's going to be spending down some of that money. But I think that was what we estimated. And the project total is about 300,000. So we basically have half the money. So we're applying for another 150,000.
Can we hang on to the 150 from the grant? While we're looking around for a match to pay for the other 50, or do we have to surrender it?
It's a little unclear. Bill and I asked that question to the grant manager and we didn't get a great answer. It was like, probably not, but then again, there's a lot, we're going to be we've talked about that a little bit. So we really don't know if the state could potentially extend that out another season or something like that.
Budget for the other 150.
Right.
We don't have it.
Right. And so, yeah, it's kind of a moving target. And, with a lot of the stormwater stuff these days, we're not really getting answers right off. And then, kind of have to a little bit of a waiting game. So hopefully, I'm going to let Bill know if I hear back from Gianna and she has any other ideas, because there is a lot of, there's other communities that have unspent funds that are also being returned. So like, I'm kind of wondering what's happening with those funds and if we have a good project and, potentially something could be shaken loose.
My strong suggestion would be to get a letter in, get something in writing and request an extension on the grant and tell them, go through the things that you have done that have not resulted, so they won't think we're just sitting on our hands.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I can do that.
I just did that with the grant in one of it wasn't a state grant, but and sometimes if you present it that way early on, you get permission early on. So, and the Act 250 piece, now, have the landowners signed on and agreed that this is an okay thing?
They have.
Did their homeowners association vote on it?
I presume so. Yeah, Gary signed. He signed as the.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They're on
And
board.
the 250 people, is your application for an amendment complete? And you're just waiting for the permit amendment to issue, or is there something else they're waiting on?
So the rub with the Act 250 amendment is, and I was explaining this on site, I've literally tried for years to try to get some feedback from the Fish and Wildlife people, because the woods is mapped as a deer yard and we're going into the deer yard. So we have to somehow mitigate that. So we basically just put forth a mitigation plan to kind of offset the impact, which is really not that much. But that, I don't know how they're going to respond to that yet, because they haven't really given us like a concrete example of a mitigation plan that satisfy them. But so that's really the only thing. Other than that, everything else I think is pretty straightforward. So I think that they will end up issuing it. I just don't know what they're going to be asking for in terms of that mitigation.
Okay, and this was, I'm remembering back to some way early on discussions where the MS4 permit requires us to do a certain level of, to meet a certain goal every year. And Windmer's pretty important. It was probably the biggie. What
It is
happens
important.
if this doesn't happen?
We have to look for other projects. And so I don't think that, the state has offered that it's a flexible enough plan where they understand that some projects will advance but not end up happening, according to the schedule. But I think it's always a matter of just continuing to show the state progress. Continuing to look through the list. So that's why Dave and I, so kind of the plan B is there's other projects on this list that have to get done. And one of them being Cannon Drive, there's a project that we looked at that seemingly is quite straightforward. So the grant funds, this grant fund will cover design costs, engineering costs to do those, do that design. And so we can do that this summer and at least get another project teed up
Okay,
in the list, show that to the state, continue to show that we're continuing to try to make some progress on this.
but then we still need to come up with the construction money. Unless we find a separate grant for that.
Yep.
Well, unless you find a separate grant for that.
Yep. I mean, what,
The Cannon Drive projects, if we have to do those, so the money we have, can we do the design and construction from that money, or do we have to separate that?
you probably, I mean, you could, but I don't know if there's enough time to start from where we are now and
Yep.
build by, so we could at least get the design part done, which is,
One of the things we did discuss was putting the Windmere project, putting bid specs together and put it out to bid, just see what number we get back.
Yeah,
And, the estimated cost was around 300,000, but somebody might do it, we might find it can be done more economically.
or,
Uh,
or it could be way more.
Right,
Yeah.
but this will give, but either way, we gotta have some idea. If we find out it's a $400,000 project, then we need to go looking for, if we're gonna continue to do this, but we need an actual kind of dollar figure, so that's what we asked Andres to do.
And then perhaps if we have those bids, we can down a deposit if we need to before the end of the summer.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
that may help
Yes.
us initiate something with the state to say, look, what I feel is going on here is very similar to our structures grant, and we discussed that
Yeah.
at length too. These grants are kind of based on costs that are not up to date.
Yeah. Yeah.
Town Line Road, $200,000 structures grant was 80% of it. Stratton Road structures grant is only 40%. So it may be, if we can prove to the state that they need to look at, these are mandated projects that they need to help more significantly to get them done. So,
Like if we have to raise, we don't have the ability to raise money by taxes until after July 1 of 27.
yeah,
So in order to do that, we need to notify it. So that we can actually get the budget. Otherwise, we're just gonna be chasing this.
right.
so,
Yeah, so I think, getting to the point of actually putting it to bid is not really a whole lot, that's all time paid for under your grant currently.
Yeah.
And, if we get to that point, we can put it out to bid, say, the end of the month or whatever, and
see where the numbers are, and that may help our request for more funds that,
right.
you've allocated this much, but it's not enough to cover this job or and if you want, I've said this, if these water quality projects are essential, then, towns can't try to fund these on, they need,
We can't.
Yeah, so it might be that, we do that, see what the costs are, and then from that point, maybe write the request and say, look, we put it out to bid, this is how much it is, we don't have those funds, we can't find another grant, we're gonna be utilizing this much more of the grant, but then beyond that, we would like to request an extension, to utilize the remaining funds for next year or whatever that is.
So other towns are in the same position.
Yeah, a couple of them I was saying, there's,
All right.
all this is all ARPA, and so a lot of this money is gone at the end of the year, and there's been a handful of these other grants where the projects, essentially the construction cost is way more than the grant allocated. And the towns don't have money,
Yeah.
several $100,000, so they have to give it up.
Brady.
and nobody knows if they'll reallocate that or where that's gonna go either. The grants that are not used, where it goes.
Right. I got some other things if you want more, or if you want to move on, that's fine too.
I don't know, what should I ask for?
Sure, we might as well listen.
Yeah,
I can move through this other stuff pretty
Mhm.
quick, but probably one of the good things, which I think the town will have to give some thought in terms of how to utilize this resource, but there is money that we understand, that I understand, is coming to the MS4 specifically to deal with 3-acre regulated sites.
well,
So, and it's a good amount of money. I don't know exactly what it is and what the timeline is going to be, but it's supposedly coming to all the MS4s. So somebody should be contacting Bill and saying, we want to give you some money to deal with these things. But I think the town is going to have to think about how they basically, because according to the grant manager, we asked them specifically, we were like, well, can we use that money to do this windmere project? And instead, if the town didn't want to deal with any of the other 3-acre sites in town, and I think she said no, but it's just for 3 acres. So the 3-acre sites, I'm looking at the list right now. There's Alderman's Realty, Colonial Plaza, Hubbard, Theodore Jr., don't know where that is. ISO Volta, P&R Properties, Rutland Elementary School, which we know about, Formula Ford, and the Graphic Edge.
Yeah.
So those are regulated sites. They've probably gotten letters from the state. Who knows if they've actually done anything with the 3-acre requirements. The deadline for them to submit any designs to the state is 2028. So some of them might be in process. I know like the town of the school had already done a project, but who knows what the other ones have done. But basically my understanding is the funding that's coming is going to allow you to engage these people and say, hey, look, like maybe we can work together to get this done somehow.
and would that count toward our MS4 mitigation?
I think it's going to depend where these are specifically located, whether or not they're in the impaired area or not. But that's a good question. Like that has to be sorted out in terms of like the specifics of that, but maybe.
Yeah. I remember we looked at
Well, yeah,
the
we had,
forgivable loan.
when
fund.
Robert Clark talked to us about
Yes.
some money for this, that the town could help these places not do the work, but help with the cost of designing
Design
or
and
mitigate
engineering.
whatever they were going to do.
Right.
To a grant, the town would get the grant and help. And then that money went somewhere else. Yeah, this is the second time. The Diamond Run Mall, now would that be under a different, because they're taking steps up there. I don't know if you're aware of what their plans are.
Right.
But their plans are to get rid of a whole bunch of pavement and rooftops and
Yep.
end up with a lot of grass.
Yeah, they're probably, since they're doing that whole redevelopment plan, they would have had to get a new permit essentially, which would have kind of superseded this whole thing. So they're kind of like working to the full letter of the rules. This is like a halfway point to get to the, so.
Didn't Mark Foley the same thing up there on Seward Road? They had all that parking for more business ones.
280 Seward Road, is that? Yeah, so that's on here. That's 7.27 acres of impervious. That's a big site.
I think I think Markowski showed up there this week to do a stormwater project.
Yeah,
Oh,
I remember.
Okay.
Cause I know they ripped,
now.
I think they took up one of the big parking lots already.
Okay,
So some of these people must be, they're doing them.
they're doing stuff.
When they, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
Well, that's handy, and that would be a nice thing to be able to work with our local businesses on. Yeah.
Yeah, depending on, when that funding comes, first step is really just to do a first cut, figure out who these people are, where they are in the process, what their needs are. That's stuff we can certainly help with once that happens.
I thought we had a list back like 10 years ago of all of the 3-acre.
Yeah, that's when you just
No, but we had a list, but we'd have to update it, of course, because some work may have been done.
Yeah.
Or even more added to it, but.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep. Okay, so that is that, and then we're gonna be doing some illicit discharge. This is part of your MS4. This is required, basically testing some of the outfalls, reassessing, resampling these outfalls. This is just all ongoing work. So there's 20 known outfall points in Rutland Town. We need to reassess and resample. So we're gonna be contacting Dave, and we'll keep him posted on getting that work done.
there was in the past an educational component of that, letting people know stuff they couldn't put in storm drains and.
Yes.
We are having our townwide celebration again, so if we get credit for doing that, we could probably have a table explaining
That would be good.
thou shalt not
Yeah.
dump.
You can you need that credit.
We do,
So that would be really good.
okay.
Yep. And if you need any help putting together a flyer or something
Sure.
like that, just tell them, when is it?
August 16th, you're gonna be there in person. We'll have a chair and a table.
Dunk tank.
Get the credit. It's from, if you come down and man the table, we'll feed you.
Yeah, we
Feed you
do.
good. That's really good cooking.
All right.
Yeah, we do.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
If you're lucky, you get some free ice cream.
August 16th. I'll put it on my calendar.
Sunday, August 16th. And
Okay.
Sunday or Saturday?
Saturday, August 16th,
All right.
under 2, correct?
Right, you have to keep correcting me.
Somebody, yeah. Yes.
So just along those lines, one thing that it would be great to try to finish off, but it didn't because Barbara left the planning commission. We were working on the agreement in terms of outreach and education, which is part of,
Yes.
right? And so we got it to kind of like a final stage, but it was never solidified.
We were gonna work with the city on that, right?
Yep.
Okay,
And the planning commission.
yeah, okay, well, Barbara's on the call.
Yep.
Because she's our planning commission too.
Yep. Good. Hi, Barbara. So here she is. Yeah, so I think I was talking with, I'm just blanking on his name, from RPC.
Devon?
Devin. I was talking to Devin. So we talked about this, and so it's on Devin's radar.
Okay,
So I know he's got a lot on his plate, so I'm sure he's going to be getting back to me. I just wanted to kind of flag that as something that
Okay.
would be good to try to tie that up.
the planning commission usually has a table at townwide celebration. And a little corner of it could be used for the public education piece. So. If you
Okay.
can get flyers and
This is on that same,
this is the August 16th.
yeah. Yeah, that's really what I have. So if there are any questions or.
And you mentioned the new project scoping.
Yep.
Yeah,
So, right. So I didn't mention that. Some of the projects that were in the original plan were along the power line right of way. There were 3 different projects, and we advanced those to a 30% level concept. And we were engaging with Velco about it, and Velco basically shut us down. So because those projects are no longer viable, we really do need to look for alternatives. And so some of the scoping was to really just take a second look around town this summer and see if there are any other opportunities of maybe some future projects that could be added to the plan that could be done to kind of replace the Velco projects. So.
Can their concerns be addressed in a way that we could maybe still do something, or would that just not be cost effective.
It was a hard no for the foreseeable future, given the conditions, given I think the specifics of the line and their needs to potentially upgrade some of that infrastructure in the future. They were concerned about having any kind of limitations. I mean, we initially started that project because we were actually successful with them in South Burlington doing like the exact same thing. So they allowed it and it worked out great. But there's something specific about this area where they were not comfortable encumbering any part of their right of way. It was kind of like check back with us in like 8 years.
I know they've been doing a lot of right away maintenance, a lot of pole change out. So if that's the
Yes.
original high line that's been there for years and years, they're probably they're building roads all through their right of ways
Right.
and replacing poles everywhere.
Yep.
So maybe that's
could be what it is. Yeah. I mean, some of these things were like pretty long and it wouldn't really impact like the pole specifically, but I think for like future roads and stuff, then they would be having to like kind of work around them and stuff. And I think they were just not interested in doing that. So
When you say look around for the project, but fix it for those things.
well, so other stormwater projects like basins, control measures, things that can kind of, control and treat the stormwater. So looking at like other opportunities, I mean, they could really be, ideally, they would be places on public land. But I know that, I mean, this is a challenging spot because there really isn't that much public land, if any, right? Within the slice of the town that we're really focused on, which is really just the area that drains to Muzzy Brook. So it's not the whole town, but it's really just specifically like the upper reaches by Windmere, that whole area. So, the plan requires a certain amount of stormwater control over the whole watershed. So if we're losing the capacity of those other projects, those Velco projects that were in there, we're going to have to look for, other ways to basically maybe make an existing stormwater feature bigger or maybe put in like a new feature somewhere else. So, and we were talking, Dave and I we met on, what street was that? The second stop, Elburn. Where there's some current drainage flooding type issues there. So that's an area, as an example, there's no project that was identified there. However, there's a flooding issue there. And so, that's an area that I've flagged today to go back to maybe look at, is there an opportunity to do something here which could help the town with these plans, but also maybe solve the flooding issue. Flooding issues based on the fact the infrastructure is so small, the pipe there is 6-inch or something, right? So the pipe needs to be upsized, but if that could be done in conjunction with putting, say, like a little treatment area in, then the upsizing of the pipe and all that whole work could all be paid for as part of a, for example, like one of these grants. So it could kind of, those are the best projects if it's solving an existing drainage problem.
Any questions? Do we have to approve anything tonight?
I don't believe so. No, I think it's more just a update on all the things going on.
We
here.
do have stormwater in our budget, $60,000. So, but nowhere near what we would need to do Windmere.
Yeah, we seem to be coming up short on the construction funds.
Okay. Any questions you have of us? Okay. Dave, all set? Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
I don't suppose we can get retroactive credit for that sewer line we put under Route 7. Just probably not.
I mean, maybe for the The stormwater folks don't really probably care about sewer. Is it sewer like wastewater line? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
will.
do pay attention then, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the state, the V-Trans person actually did contact me a few months ago asking about that Ranbury Road. Hey, whatever happened with that? That's what he said. And I said, well, that was nixed like years ago. And I don't know why he was actually asking, curious if there was any movement for them to do anything about that.
Well, they were going to do the construction.
Well, if you remember,
Yeah.
it's funny, we talked about
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
that Andres designed that,
Hmm.
and we were working on that, and then we got that grant. And I think we got about $350,000 toward the grant, and V-Trans said, oh, you got a state grant, so we're not helping. And it doesn't, I mean, the grant has nothing to do with V-Trans. That was a
Well, we
state.
kept telling them their runoff from their road was
Right,
messing up
but we
our town,
applied for the
so,
grant
yeah.
as mitigation for the town, not for V-Trans. So V-Trans needed to ante up the additional cost
Mhm.
to help build it, because most of that water comes off of Route 7.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they said, no, we're not going to give you any money. You got a state grant. And it's like, wait a minute, the state grants are open to the entire state, and we were lucky enough to get one. That doesn't cover your costs.
That's the grant.
And that's why the board said, no, we're not going to do it. If you're not helping, we're not helping. When you don't work that way.
All right.
No.
Hmm.
But and it seems like one state agency knocking heads with another state agency. That seems to be what goes on,
Oh, it happens a lot, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
you know.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
course.
At some point, I'd be curious to know where we are moving toward our goal. And we've probably, if Windmere doesn't come through, we've split off quite badly, I think.
In terms of the projects or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely right. If that doesn't happen, you're behind schedule, but at the same time, you know, I think that
It's not like we haven't done something, because
No.
we've moved along in this direction and it
Correct.
didn't work. Yeah.
yeah, and you know, we didn't mention this, but we also submitted the MS4 annual report, which goes in every April 1st. And so it was complete. You know, it does still show demonstrated progress. And
Okay.
so we haven't gotten any comments on that. So that's isn't on time. So,
Okay.
you know, I think continue to move forward
Okay.
best we can.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good to see you, Andres.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, so that takes care of action item A. Dave Sears, Town Road Commissioner. Yeah.
Not a lot.
Mailboxes, done mailboxes, and a lot of mailboxes. Still got mailboxes to go.
Big tree.
Big tree, that was today. I took Friday off. I came to work on Monday, and they said a limb came off a tree on Friday. We got called for it, and we saved it for you. I'm like, well, you didn't have to do that. You could have just taken care of it. They're like, no, we saved it for you. So we went there today, and it was a leader off the tree. It was probably 30 inches across. It's ginormous. Went across the road.
Classifies as a limb.
It's not a limb. It went across the road, took out the power, the phone, everything. It was
Where was it?
right across from Old Wood Road.
Okay.
It's a bruiser.
Yeah, I was quite the log in it.
So we took care of that today anyway. We went down last Wednesday and dug the sewer main splash. Retrieved the blockage and put that all back together. We went back down yesterday and jetted the sewer from Route 7 up to the manhole by the driveway, and we put 500 gallons of water down that manhole, just flushed it all, got it all cleaned up, and it's all spit shined and ready to go.
We started breaking down winter equipment until we saw the forecast and had no idea what was gonna happen today, so we kind of pulled back on that a little bit. But it looks like we can probably continue with that tomorrow, so.
We had received in our packet, Kari was kind enough to give us the budget status report for each department. We knew winter de-icer would be. A couple of questions about other things. One is the highway garage utilities. That seemed way high. We had budgeted, if I'm reading this correctly, we had budgeted $15,000 and it cost 43. Am I reading this right? What's?
That can't be right. Hmm. Does say that.
Yeah,
We get coded wrong, maybe.
Yeah, check with it tomorrow,
I don't know.
see what was paid through
So there are, and then well, we have a quarter to go of the year. So, we gotta request that each department head take a look at this 3/4 report and meet with your committee and see. I don't want us going over if we can possibly help it. But see if something is out of whack, what's going on before we get to the end of the year, and then we can't make any adjustments if adjustments are needed. Okay.
Lighting. Get a new lighting. Wasn't that much. Interrogating people in there, using that.
And engineering services are up too. We budgeted 30,000 and that came in at 56,778 so far.
That's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, we did it for Simon's Ave, we did Simon's Ave work, we did the culvert work, some of that may be coming back from grant reimbursement, but that takes a little time, but that kind of catches a lot of Robert Clark's work. And we replaced it with grant funding when we are able to.
Okay,
He designed the sewer line. Right?
but that should have come out of the sewer.
That should have come out of the other though, right? Okay.
But that's an example
But
of
it, but maybe it-
coding, yeah.
Was
So-
that got caught? Because I did.
Okay.
That wrong, that got caught. But yeah.
Okay. So you don't have, you've spent 99% in 3/4 of the year of your entire budget for the full year, so you're
trying to tiptoe.
I'm trying to be tactful. Okay. Hard look at the budget. Highway committee, can you help with that? I know you
We're
can't do
going
much
to,
about the salt and the winter contractors, but
I'm curious about the utilities. That's,
yeah,
We'll get to the bottom of that. There's something not like that. Yeah. Utilities have gone up, but not that much.
yeah.
I mean,
No, it's not even it wouldn't even be maintenance or anything, because that's a separate line.
Yeah. Okay.
could be clerical error, but you never know.
Anything else? Any questions for the town road commissioner? No? Okay, thank you. Good night.
Thanks, Dave.
Chris Clark, town fire chief.
First tonight.
Okay. So digesting whoopie pies. Mike Rowe, town rec director.
Small.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
All right, bunch of stuff. The rink is all closed up.
that was great. Finished that up last week, so that's all put to bed. Baseball cleanup for Dewey Field is on Saturday with our majors and minors teams, helping to get that cleaned up over there at the field. That's going to be this Saturday at 9 o'clock. If anybody wants to come over and do a little raking. I'm I've been back at the park, and I need to remind people that they need to clean up after their dog. And I have a funny feeling I know who the person is, because it's going out of the park from essentially the tee box of the disc golf by the basketball court up. And I noticed it severely because I went down and collected about $10 worth of, and we have a Twisted Tea fan who likes to drink and then throw his can on the side. I got about $10 worth of Twisted Tea cans. Yeah.
I'm dead for litter.
Oh,
Let's say that nice and loud, up to 500.
yeah.
Okay.
So, just put it in your truck and take the 5 cents. I mean, you would have been able to fill your tank 10 times over with the cans I collected. And just the amount of dog waste was, do something with my boots after, but it was just disgusting and nasty. And I have a funny feeling I know who it is, because most people when they walk their dogs are not going to go up that part of the park. I mean, the walkers walk up and loop back. The dogs usually either enter that way, which there are only a couple that come from Post Road and enter. So I have a funny feeling I know who the person is. It's the person I kind of caught last year. And obviously it didn't do much, so I will keep an eye on that. But gross. Anyway, so we have plenty of cleanup stations. We have plenty of bags. There's a trash can there. Use the bag and pick up after your dog, please and thank you. As well as keeping them on a leash. Please do that as well. My patience is getting a little thin with that.
This close to shutting.
Yeah, I know, and I've said that many, many times. People have been really respectful. I will give that.
Yeah.
It was funny. Someone told me a story. They were walking with their dog, and a friend was walking, and they were coming up the trail, and her friend said, "Oh, I think my friend Mike is here." And the lady's like, "The guy in the black truck? Yep, I gotta leash him up." Good. Then you know that they need to be leashed up. So I laughed at that one. I'm like, thanks, that's good.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I've had people say, "Oh, my dog's friendly, you don't mind, do you?" The answer is
Yes, I do mind.
like, everyone minds. This is not one individual walker's permission to get. This is keep your dog on a leash, period. That's
So the sheriff's kind of back in town up there, so we'll
Okay.
we'll hopefully curb that like we do every year. But just wanted to throw that out. For those people that are itching for tennis and pickleball, they'll be set up next week. That's on the list for next week. Please, I'll get there. I've gotten the calls already. 160-degree day, and they thought I should have everything up. And
You didn't have the park already in one?
yeah, nope, didn't have it already. By the way, I'm saving all the best for last here, just so you know. It doesn't get better. Huge thanks to Teddy with an issue. Shall I discuss it? Yeah. So last year we had a man that felt he could drive down the shared use path to go fishing at Glenbrook Dam. And he paid a visit to the young man, or the gentleman who lives in the city. Drives a white, what was it? I want people to be aware. White Ford Explorer. So I got a phone call the other day, and a concerned citizen was walking up the shared use path, and said vehicle was driving back up the shared use path again. Went on the cameras, saw it all, reported to Ted. The same lady called Ted, and Ted has in the process issued a no trespass for 6 months. He's also a pickleball player, so he's kind of bummed because his summer is not allowed in the park. But he didn't listen, so he now has a trespass summary on that.
This was his second.
It was a second violation, and in the interim, I have placed a pole now so that cannot happen, and a sign is coming. I have to go to a pole so that you don't drive down the shared use path. Anyway, so that's being remedied.
So where is that?
Well, if you go to the end of the park behind the baseball field, where the shared use path starts.
Can you get Ford Explorer?
Oh, it's You could get the loader went down there, all the
Shared use path.
shared use path is quite wide, 8 feet wide, yeah.
Minimum of 8 feet.
Yeah, oh, it's, yeah, but you won't be able to really go with a car now. And the camera gets it, so that's even better.
Rangers aren't too wide.
You wanted to get to Glen Dam, but you just drive off at Chisant.
You can't.
Because the fence.
Well, the gate that you can't drive up that road. GMP closes that gate.
Alternative road that the town was
The
nice
town
enough to
built.
build for.
Yeah.
So anyway, that has been taken. Huge thanks to Teddy for that, and to Bill. Bill got it nice and clear on the. My phone camera wasn't as clear as Teddy and I were trying to look at it in the office, which also brought up giving access to the PD for our cameras, so that in that case they have that access rather than me bringing my phone over. Spring cleanup is underway, like I said. At the park, and that's going well. I did nice leaf blowing today in the snow. It was actually kind of therapeutic. I'm not gonna lie, it was very therapeutic. We are starting a lacrosse clinic for grades K-2, much like our baseball, soccer, basketball, other clinics. So that's starting. Got some nice parent volunteers for that. Baseball is up and running, believe it or not. They start practice next week for our baseball programs, which is huge. That means summer is coming.
He was the one who jinxed it last
The-
time.
Yeah, I know.
No, I told you. Well, the last part's not bad, but this part is. So the pool cover is off.
And there's no water under it.
There is Oh no, the pool cover is off early because the pool company is coming Saturday to replace all of the issues on the upper or missing tiles. So they're coming in. They asked to come in on Saturday. I'm like, it's early. Like my guys like to work, and it's fine. So it is now getting to the point where they can actually go in and do the work. The water is leaving, but pool covers last for a little while. I've put one in since I've been here, and we can never use it again. It needs to be thrown away and ripped up. There are so many holes in it now. It's not safe. Number one, if anybody were to walk on it and go through it, it has outlived its life expectancy, as I realized when I was pulling it off. It's close to 15 years old. So the only place around is Allen's, who put the other one up. And so I've already been in contact with them, and they are actually, Bill will love this. I said, you must have it on file from the last time. And they're like, oh, no, but and I got a text yesterday. Can I get into the pool and look at the cover? I said, well, yeah, but it's off. I said, but it's flattened on the thing. It's like, oh, okay. And I was like, why? He's like, well, we measure it with a drone now. So they fly it up and they have points where they all click in. So they'll be droning for a cover that, hopefully depending on the pool, we only have for a couple of years, but we cannot go without a cover. And that will be, last time it was $8,000 or $9,000. So just letting you know, but either that or pay millions of dollars to somebody who fell in your pool, one or the other. So that is underway. I will have a price for you as soon as I know, but the existing cover, even though it's out, I have to call Dell, just make sure I can put it up at the transfer station in the container. I need to ask to make sure that's okay. Otherwise, then I'll figure a spot. If anybody needs any kind of old cover part, you can come cut pieces out of it if you want, because it is not, it's not valuable to us. So just so you know.
What was the lifespan?
Lifespan on covers, from what I've been told, is 10 years. I got
We got
15.
15, so.
Light deteriorates them.
Remember, that cover is on the pool more than the pool's even open.
Yeah.
So, and with all the sun and all, yeah, it deteriorates. It kills it. So yeah, we got our pound of flesh out of that cover, but I didn't think it was that bad. We kind of repaired it a little bit last year before we put it in, did our best. And it's not like you can just bring a sewing machine and stitch, so anyway, that you need to know is gone bye-bye. It served us well. The last two things I have, are the contract for the pool architect that I asked you to mull over and let me know so that we can move forward with that if you choose to do that. Otherwise, I don't know what direction to go.
3 in your packet, and it's also action item C. Now you need to refresh my memory. I was going through here looking at, there apparently this is a step before the bid spec. Yeah,
It's kind of like the
This is the
Design.
design. This is the initial process of figuring out everything that you need for the pool, not necessarily the design, the final design.
and we have, that's basic services before we do any add-on $75,000, so.
Mhm.
um, do we get bids from anyone else to do this?
No. I also only went for one that had columns with others that same ballpark as far as price for the service. This is also a company that the city pool
Mhm.
and has some other pools, so they highly recommend it. And then with the man that I took the course with a couple of weeks ago,
Mhm.
also endorsed that they were good and legit company. And he's the one that you have some side notes about the contract that you could add or
Yeah,
however, whatever pleasure of making those changes before you agree to that. And I can get together with Matt and Sharon, and Matt's more of the lawyer in our committee group. Make sure we
I've heard that.
word it to where we, so that we word it appropriately when we, if you choose to do that. So
the optional services, Mike, is there any of that stuff that we're gonna actually have to take advantage of, do you think?
right now, I don't know. To be perfectly honest with you, I am as new to this as you are. Some of the ones seemed a little, and I don't even know if I have a copy with
Yeah,
me.
but
See, they talk about like the
boundary survey,
we
I don't
should
think we don't need that.
that.
Yeah,
The geotechnical investigation, I'm not sure what they'd be doing there.
Big pile of sand,
the
Yeah.
public engagement, 15,000 seems a little steep.
15 grand for public engagement.
We can just have a Dave, Mike can just have a meeting and say, this is what we want to do. What do you think?
Well,
Yeah.
Mike's committee too.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
committee,
yeah.
and there'll be some interaction with them. I also asked them to come to townwide celebration if things are moving.
The environmental end of it might be something that we might need. I mean, there's about $50,000 worth of options there, whether
Yeah,
we need them or.
On the outsider options, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we can, once we get moving, we can say, all right, we need this option or whatever as we're moving forward.
The
The
only one-
initial,
The only one I see that might be of anything would be the environmental because of the,
the geotechnic.
yeah, it just says planning level environmental analysis.
Oh, okay.
And that would just be because that is a Act
It
250.
is subject to 250.
250 up there, and there might be some environmental something, but if we were building a new pool, I'd understand it, but because we're replacing, but then again, we're building a new shopping center where there was a shopping center, so I don't know what the rules mean.
I agree.
Okay.
So I guess it's what your pleasure, how you feel. I mean, we have to jump off at some point and put our foot in the water if we want to.
I mean, this is kind of like hiring an architect to design a building.
Yes.
These are the steps we need to take.
What's the recommend from the Recreation Committee on this?
I think we looked at it, but we wanted to bring it to you. And then finding the new changes, so we can have a meeting, and then if we're good with your approval, full board approval, we can move forward. I think that would be the best way to do that, is to just reconvene again. If
Okay,
you guys
so-
are good with that, if that,
Well, this
does
is,
that make
no,
sense?
the spec is March 3rd, so we're beyond that. So I guess a question, do we need,
Obviously, the timeline is long, so we
Yeah.
need to get going. So I guess the question would be, what does the board want? And I think generally we need to move forward, and I think this is a good company, a good proposal, subject to like comments, the outside guy gave, but you just want us to kick the ball and run with that in terms of finalizing this, maybe getting some of the costs down a little bit and moving ahead, or do you want us to come back with, here's the exact number? And the
No.
exact list of all the optional things that we need or what have you.
I think the first, but we've already started, ticking off a couple of the optional things that we don't think we need. But we don't want to bypass the committee either, because you folks have been looking at this longer than we have. And the other thing is, because we're kind of to go out for this service with this particular Weston and Sampson, we're kind of skirting our purchasing policy a little bit. So it's good to, I mean, if you've looked at other people, and it sounds like you have.
I made phone calls around.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So that would be good to have in minutes somewhere to show that you did do due diligence and these people came to the top. And that's why you're recommending that we go with these. Anybody disagree with that approach? Okay. So, we'll hold this for when,
You had changes from the other guy, right?
Correct. And we will back at our committee, we will incorporate those and finalize it with Matt's help on the legal part, how I would present that to them.
Mhm.
But if you're in favor, we'll get together and finalize that and then send that out.
Sounds good to me.
That's kind of what.
so we'll.
Yeah, at some point we have to jump in, don't we?
We do have to jump, I mean, I'm not gonna be bold, we have to jump in at some point.
Yeah, no.
No.
If we don't, we're going nowhere, and then, I don't, anyway.
Well, it's $75,000 expenditure, so I tend to be a little more cautious. Is 2 weeks enough time? Do we put it on our next select board list?
Yeah, the question is, do you need us to come back? Say, here's the exact number, or do you just want to tell us? Go ahead and figure it out.
Is this worth doing for roughly $75 or $75,000? And is this the right company? And is this, do we need any of the options? So an exact number? No, I don't think we need that. We just need to make sure that this number is still good.
So we can get together as soon as you want to do that. Whatever works with the two of you on. Pretty much agree. That's it. You good with that? The other
So
part.
Bill, could you put it on for next meeting?
Next meeting,
please?
yep.
Yeah. Is it April? It's been by the.
21st.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the other, that.
So is there a rec meeting on the 21st before?
We're gonna decide when we meet before that. We just haven't decided the time we're gonna meet, but we are gonna meet.
You might want to meet a little before that, Sharon, just in case questions
Yeah.
come up. when
No,
you
I
get-
understand that. That's why I asked the question. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, no, we're gonna schedule the meeting, the
Whatever,
three of us.
whatever.
We're gonna schedule our meeting. The other piece that's, Bill, did I put it on their desk or did you get it to them or not?
Is that?
Did I put it on your desk? It says NAC Incorporated, National Aquatic Consulting Incorporated.
You took all those copies with you.
Did I put it on your desk?
I
Please
just
tell me I did that. You know what? I didn't do that because they're right here in my.
You know where they are, Mike.
Yeah. Okay, so this doesn't need any action. This is, I would like you to mull over. This is the independent consulting firm that looked at the original contract. So I would like for you to just look that over and we can talk about that later. This is not important right now. It's a neutral set of eyes, but this is the contract that he sent to me if we choose to use him. So this is more information right now. You can look at it later and we can talk about it down the road. But if it's an independent extra set of eyes on this project.
So would this be like a general contract? when we
You
get ready
could,
to-
well, technically, without talking with him about that, he could become your general contractor to a certain extent. He's going to oversee to make sure that if we want to, and it outlines what's in here, what he does. That's why I just want you to take it home and look at it.
So he could be our project manager.
He could be
Yeah.
something to that effect. The extra set of eyes to make sure that we're not
Whatever you want to call it.
something, I don't know. That's something we can discuss.
So he's like will be our architect.
I think after this is.
No.
Clerk of Works.
This could be someone along that. He's not your architect. That's not his job.
No, his
No.
job is to make sure that he looks at the design and and your pool is built as designed.
In the way it's supposed to be designed and all that. And
After 2 fire stations, I do believe we need this.
so I'm just saying, this is for you to look at. If there's somebody else, great. This, like I said, I took the course. He teaches the CPO course. This is his company. He works all over New England. I don't know where else you would find somebody like that unless another person
So
that.
another question maybe for the rec committee.
Yeah. Oh, this will go there too. Yes,
Yeah.
this was, I
Okay.
wanted to give
See,
you
I'm
this to
really hard
digest.
Not to bypass the committee.
No. And I'm not. I wanted you to have this to digest.
Okay.
I don't need action on this right away. This is like just information only, and we will bring it up at our next meeting.
Okay.
But I wanted you all to have it so you could just start looking at it. I don't need any kind of action right now. It's just more informational for you, if that makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And that is all I have, unless you have any questions for me. Sorry.
Any
little while.
questions for town rec director?
Hearing none.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so I'll reach out and we'll set up a date for our committee meeting and we'll be good to go. Thank you. Good. How's it feel to be like first time, first time official?
Evening, we've got a couple of,
Yeah, this is one less fanfare. Yeah.
yeah, you don't get that. tonight.
No, no cake and no huge gathering following me.
On your own.
Before we start, we had an unresolved issue we realized, because we never officially voted on what we were going to pay our deputy chief who stepped up to become chief,
What, 298?
Matt. Now that we got him all sworn in, he's kind of captive, but, Matt and I had discussions. We didn't have a formal committee meeting as police committee, but, our recommend is that we just put him in for the rest of the year at the, chief salary line, what Ed was getting, and then beginning July 1st, he'll move into what we budgeted for the chief line. Is there any, well, let's do a
I thought
motion.
that's what I thought we talked about this in another
I think we've
format.
been close, but I don't think we ever, and Kari caught it and said, what are you guys doing with this? So I think we need to do a motion to do just that. So
I moved to do what Mary just said.
motion's made and seconded to, pay Ted at Ed Dumas's rate, as budgeted. Okay. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, that's
you.
done. Yes.
And we're giving it more than one bullet.
Yes.
Well,
I just gotta keep it.
it's got the silver one.
So I have stats in front,
Yeah,
whichever one you want to start with.
You're in charge. You're telling us.
yeah.
Let's start with the general town one, which has the pie graphs on the front of it then. Start there. So according to the printout, we had 157 total calls. But of those total 157, 26 were traffic stops. So that brings us down to 131 total calls for the month. 86 were in the rest of town, 49 were in the south end.
Okay.
I did see Mary's email, the reminder about the hotel program ending on the 31st of March. And as the highway department, and it sounds like Kurt saw for themselves the amount of foot traffic that we're gonna see up and around the Diamond Run Mall. So
Yeah.
we will keep an eye as best we can on that.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. Rest we're down. So only 5 in total.
Okay.
And then
You moved some equipment up there while you were working.
nothing while we were there.
I think Phil caught something on the camera. I don't know if they're up there just making sure their perimeter fence is good.
Yeah.
We got a call from a woman said a padlock was broken. So I sent that to Bill, and I don't know if he's gonna reach out to Belden or whoever it was. Last I knew there were Jersey barriers in front of
Yes.
the
Like
gate
multiple
doors.
places,
Or
and those are one piece. Do you notice that?
yeah,
Those aren't gonna move.
no, those
No.
are the big ones. So
Which is good. I mean, I've been going up there every time I go to Tractor Supply or John Deere, I go up and drive around, just see what's going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the amount of mattresses and
Yes.
and I don't know if this is people that buy new stuff and don't want to pay to get rid of it and they bring it up there or what it is, but it seems to be everywhere. I even went down the little road we gave up there off of Middle Road.
Oh, yeah,
Dyer Road.
Yeah,
And all along down through there, that's the same thing.
same thing.
Bedding, mattress stuff, and tires. But that actually doesn't look much worse than it did when we gave that up there. You know, I
Yeah,
thought there would,
Creek Road's getting trashed.
yeah,
Not with big stuff, with smaller stuff.
but the amount of, like I say, I don't know if this is homeless people. I don't think they would be getting rid of that stuff if they have a place to put it, or if it's people just
They
throwing
usually
it
just,
out.
the homeless usually just leave it
Yeah,
campsite, so.
I'm assuming it's people throwing it out because they bought a new set and didn't make arrangements to get rid of the old stuff.
The mattresses are expensive to get rid of.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And really expensive.
So,
I know you do have a littering call at Diamond Run Place.
yeah,
We don't own it. So I guess probably, Bill, have you been in touch with? Yeah, what's the response about, because I'm getting complaints about the littering up there and,
You sent on issues with the fencing and the gates.
yeah,
And there is a email chain that goes around that says people who take care of this usually ends up getting taken care of, so
okay.
we can send another one about the debris and stuff and.
Well, we're getting
Yeah.
complaints now and, I mean, they need to be aware that can't, and I think I've said this to David Drake, the campers are going to be back in there.
Mhm.
And if there's no activity, i.e. demolition going on, it's going to be an attractive place to go back to.
Yep.
So,
yes, it is.
They're going to be inside.
Absolutely. But we're not, as we said before, we're not going in after them.
Yeah.
Because they run and I'm not chasing. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna play that game. So that was with the general stats.
okay.
Any questions on the general ones? The south,
Next.
yep, the south end numbers. We're still down calls from last year. So that was nice, but we did start to see the uptick at the end of the month on Green Mountain Plaza from Hannaford's. So
Out of hibernation.
snow's gone. Once the snow's gone, even when it's cold, they're still gonna move.
The
So
cold weather housing program ended.
Yep.
So,
it didn't really have a lot of people in it last I knew, so it's not like they're running to Cortina right now.
yeah, no.
Are the problems that Dix was having and some of the other places, have they? I'm assuming this reflects the fact that they may have mitigated some from what it was at its peak with the shoplifting and stuff and all that.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I know there's a new manager at Dick's who isn't as proactive as the prior manager. So we're having some, I'll say issues, but there's a learning curve from them now because they're not able to get us the stuff we need to prosecute.
Yeah.
And we try to explain that to them, like, this is what we need, and they're just kind of like, okay. So can't help you if you don't want to help yourself.
Okay, I took a look at the budget.
Yep.
3/4, and we've got outside detail salary. I think that was the overtime, and I think that came from the Cortina fund, and we just needed to show it here and then it's gonna be
Correct.
reimbursed there. Okay, so that's fine. Communication line is over a little bit. Do we have more expenditures anticipated for that?
Within the general stuff, and so I met with Kari yesterday,
Okay,
and she gave me a printout for our equipment line
okay,
for an itemized list. And I know that that's over because of the
That's-
cruiser,
oh, okay,
but I wanted to see if I got rid of the cruiser in there, how much money actually left in that line.
okay.
I'm gonna ask to do the same thing for each communication line. So I can look at, what exactly is the reason.
Yeah, that wasn't over a lot, but the equipment line was over a lot,
Yes.
but that's because we took the cruiser out of that and it's gonna be reimbursed with Cortina funds. Okay,
So you'll see in orders tonight, there was the radar, the new radar unit for the new cruiser as well.
Okay,
So that is the last thing that McGovern needs for the cruiser bill.
okay. And I think the rest of the things were, you know. Okay.
Yep.
Right, what else do you have? Thank you for helping out with the guy who's using our shared use path as a highway.
You just remind me, so on the outside needs to,
Yeah,
we had budgeted zero. I thought we were planning not to use that one.
right.
So what was that?
That was the holiday patrols for the
Uh,
south. The,
Wasn't it also originated when you guys were working at, Omnia?
Yeah, way back.
That's when that, yeah.
yeah, years ago it started there.
Yeah.
And then we've been using it since when we were doing the actual
There's
patrols. And then we did the December holiday patrol. That's what that number reflected.
Right.
We have three, they've been approved.
Mm-hmm.
There's negotiation as to how it's going to be divvied up. About 3 federal forfeitures that
Ooh.
Officer Placus and Cannon Rooster were involved in. So it was great that they were approved. I don't know how the process works from their side as to how they figure out who gets what. I know more, I'll let the board know.
Okay, yeah, it'd be good to try and understand the process a little bit. Yeah. So Kari,
So this will be, I guess, unexpected income.
yeah, we didn't budget
So-
anything for it.
So you guys will, your committee will have to kind of get together and decide what.
Yeah, and this was a trial year because I don't think we were in line for any
No.
last year,
No.
so we'll see.
I know, almost like an outside detail income, but not
I mean,
quite.
it's
close
unexpected
but
income.
different.
Yeah, and the way the feds want it, I believe it's in
There might be,
the next year, it was actually written out as forfeiture, asset forfeiture.
Yeah,
dollars.
the new budget has
The
it.
feds.
That's how they
really-
want it
They
lined.
really want to track where that money comes in and where it goes out.
Do they have any guidelines on
As to how you can spend
Yeah,
it,
really?
Use it for equipment purposes.
Okay,
Use it on any salary.
We have to take a special vote again on that, because that carry it over.
oh, right,
It's not
okay,
yet 14 and 20.
yeah,
Yeah, what I gathered was correct. We can use it on equipment items.
Mm.
But we can't use it on salary or anything to do with overtime or anything.
what about like training for Rooster or his handler?
No.
Oh.
It's part of the packet that Officer Placus and I went through. I'm gonna go through it again because as we're now approaching actually getting money, I really do need to know. what to expect.
Yeah,
So we weren't sure. I mean, yeah, they kept putting us in for it, but we changed for a while. And I checked it yesterday and it said 3 were pending, or approval granted, or dispersion or something to that effect. So,
How much is it in total? For-
so one pot was 16,900. One pot was, I think, 6,900, and then the third pot was 53. We'll get something from
Get
it.
something.
I don't know what. But we'll
it's
get
fine
It's
with.
decent money at least.
New equipment.
Police new equipment,
Well, town hall new
oh,
equipment
town hall,
first,
okay,
but we, that had come up as a possible,
uh-huh,
but I think in the next 10 or 12 weeks, we'll know whether or not if you want to, and we can, then we could move it back over there,
Yeah.
balance that line back out again.
Okay.
So,
all right,
I think we'll know before the end of the
I
fiscal
would
year.
hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I know their fiscal years end in September, or in August. but I
Right.
would hope we know something quicker.
September 30th, I think is the end of fiscal year
Yes.
for
For that.
different, for those agencies, yeah.
this is sort of related, and we always ask your opinion anyway, we have 3 liquor licenses that Kari has quickly for us. One is for, 2 of them are for 99 Restaurant of Vermont. It is first class restaurant bar license for one, and a third class restaurant and bar license for another. You have any issues down there? And the third is a second class liquor license for Medfords, which is not to prejudice anyone, but where I get my beer.
Yeah.
So are any problems with that?
No.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the 3 liquor licenses?
Move to approve.
Okay.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on any? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. And I'm going to circulate these. All of us have to sign. And anything else?
That's it for right now.
So how do you like being in charge?
Something. People will want to call me.
Yeah,
So
it's a change when you're running the show.
Yeah, a nice picture of Ed in the paper, nice article. He looks so relaxed. Did you notice that?
very nice article, and I thought it kind of shocked me that I recognized that desk that was in the picture as being in his house. And he actually let Keith Wood come enter his house. Wow. It's mellowed out.
Probably all first.
So it was a very good article.
Yeah.
Yeah, some Sunday, he seemed real cheerful.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There's a lot of stress gone on of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know.
It is.
All right. Anything else for our police chief? If not, she's up and I think we're all set. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, do we have Mike Delehanty on?
You do not.
No.
Mike has been working more.
Okay.
Not sure what's going on. I think it's kind of maybe leveled out in his personal life a little bit.
Okay,
But he did come out the last 2 Saturdays and has been running some traffic for us.
good.
So, but he has been coming out.
Okay. Larry Del Veneri, no?
Oh,
Marcia Chioffi, town head lister. Good evening, Marcia.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody tonight?
We're doing.
Good. Well, the first thing I have to say is we've started our site visits, and I have to say that I think the listers are going to have to put in for hazard duty pay.
Ooh.
We had a couple sites today that we visited, one of them being at the top of Thistle Hill, where the house had to be built up to meet the road, and the back end of the house we could not even measure because there was a 25 to 30 foot drop in the back, which was quite interesting. And the other house was on Winridge, which we visited last summer when they were preliminarily building. And that house is actually a 15-foot drop from the road with another 25 to 35-foot drop in the back of the house. So it's quite interesting where these homes are being built in the town.
Well, you're on, so I'm assuming you got back from both site visits, okay?
Yeah, we
Thank you.
did. Yes, we did. But
Um,
it was fun. We were up at Thistle Hill with the snow blowing, and we were freezing our hands off. We had Kathy, luckily enough, had extra pair of gloves in her car, so we were able to utilize the gloves to do all of the measuring. So, yeah, it was interesting.
It's like another job for the drone.
Yeah, yeah. If we get the drone, we've said we're getting the drone. So
Right.
when we get the drone,
Yeah.
yeah.
Might be
It's
able
going to
to.
be a great help. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
In your packet, Marcia has tendered a letter to us dated April 1st, in which she announced her intention to retire effective May 1st, 2026. So, Well, that'll be a change. Marcia, thank you for all of your work. And I do appreciate that you didn't want to leave the lister's office without having, enough
Right.
people there. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep, not a problem.
Which will trigger in a minute, the boards need to consider what next steps happen in order for us to publicize the opening and then to proceed with appointment pending election at an upcoming election. So that's in the works there. Okay, anything else from the listers?
No, does the board have any plans going forward as to the type of person they wish to fill this position?
Well, let's see, we have, what Bill has done is draft up the notice of vacancy. And it looks like that is something that we need to vote on that tonight so we can get it posted and start the process of getting people to submit letters of interest. Any person interested in serving should submit a letter of interest by close of business on June 24th, 2026. The board will consider letters received. Any question pertaining to this notice can be directed to our town administrator. And we have the authority under statute to make an appointment to fill the vacancy. And then the person appointed will serve until a town election is had. And the question I posed to town council is that the election in March, which is town meeting election, we do have two other elections in August. They're not really town elections, one in August and one in November. So do we attempt to fill the vacancies then or anyway, so I think that's still, I think Kevin's looking into that a little bit. So we'll know what we have to do.
So would it be appropriate at this time to vote to post this notice of vacancy?
Yes.
I move that we do that.
Second.
Does move that we, and are you authorizing me to sign on behalf?
Yeah, because you're the only lane there.
Well, there's that.
Yes.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded to post the notice of vacancy and start getting word out that people should apply with a letter of interest. Any discussion? You have that in front of you. If not, all in favor, please say aye.
All right.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Can I just ask on your notice, are there going to be any requirements that the candidate should possess while applying for the position?
No, I don't think so. It's like we will consider, I mean, we'll look at their letter of interest and look at, I'm sure in the past we have had interviews and if there's more than one, we've had interviews and we'll ask what their background is and how they feel that the background makes them suitable to be a lister. But I do believe there's people can go online. Secretary of State's office usually has information about the duties of lister. But there's nothing in this notice that says you have to have these qualifications, and I don't think we've ever done that.
Oh, we can't.
You can't
No.
go elected position.
Right.
Selected position.
Ultimately, for the appointed position, we could ask background and get that. But
Yeah.
ultimately, if then there is the citizens can petition for a vote and just put this whole matter out and bypass us entirely. So, and if that happens, anybody who gets the necessary number of signatures on a petition can run.
The voting thing, that's the only thing that, it says until town, and I think we had this discussion before.
Yes.
But I believe we did have a town election And that's why we had to do it, and that was for the revote on the school budget. That was a town election.
Yeah.
Where the August and November elections are
not.
not town
Right.
elections, but clarification from Kevin would be.
Okay. Alrighty. Anything else for our head lister?
Thanks, Marcia, for all you've done over the years.
Yes,
Thank you,
indeed.
Marcia.
You're welcome. Been my pleasure. I'm
Okay.
gonna miss it all. But after 66 years in the field of work, I think I've deserved my time.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay. Thanks again. On to Kari Clark, Town Clerk and Treasurer.
Good evening.
Hey, Kari.
Hello. So over this entire time, I think everything that I had to say, you've already covered for me. So thank you. I was going to start with the liquor licenses. Sounds like those are already taken
Yes.
care of. And then we were going to discuss, well, not discuss, but just have a motion about Ted's pay.
Yep.
That's already taken care of. And I think the two department budget status reports that were glaring at me anyway were already taken care of too. And I've already talked to Ted about one of them, and then maybe Dave and I can already, get together and talk about that.
Okay.
We can look up each of the lines and see what came out and what needs to be adjusted.
Yeah. I didn't see anything that stood out on the rec or fire funds.
Me either.
Yeah, and in the general, there's so many different things in there. Did you spot anything in the general fund that we should be aware of?
No, I didn't, and you're right. There's just so much in there, but I mainly was looking for significant negative numbers in that third column for right through the whole report, and we
Yes.
already addressed the ones that needed to be addressed.
Okay. So I have a question about the school property tax, the timing of that.
Okay.
And have we now paid the school for for this fiscal year, they get everything? Because we would
No.
receive another, okay, yeah, could you address that, please? School properties tax is $6,595,258.
And that would be the taxes that we collect throughout
Okay,
the year. So I give them their portion each time we have a tax installment. So we
that's
have,
what I thought.
yeah, we have one more left.
Okay,
And then just after that, I'll give them their portion. And usually Louis, Malazio and I are in discussion via email before I do that last payment. So we're adjusting it appropriately based on the cash flow that the state receives. They do updates, I think, maybe 3 times a year. And he gives those to me, and it's all dependent on all the variables that go into that big cash flow that you can Google online, and it has a lot to do with the homestead declarations and many other things. So the final number will be in here after that. By June, so that you can see how much we gave the school.
I think Matt has a question.
Yeah, more of a comment on that subject.
Sure.
Purposes of formatting this sheet, it would be helpful if you plug in the school property tax revenue also on the budget side of it, because,
Well, it looks like,
excuse me, not the revenue, but the budgeted on the expense side. There's a there's a line for that. It shows the actual expenditure, but the budget number is 0. So then consequence of that is when you get down to the bottom, and we have this giant negative balance relative to the budget for the general fund, which makes it just harder to quickly get the overview of where things stand.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'll take a look at it and see why they chose to do that back when they set this up. But I hear you, and I'll look at that.
Okay. There is at the top of page 2, which has general revenues, there is an actual current tax revenue amount of 7,541,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you add in all of the other, grants and local option tax, we have 9,123,000.
Yeah, well, because of the way the revenue flows through, I find it easier to just look at the expenditures
Yeah,
and say, okay, where are our actual expenditures relative to budget? 3/4 of the way through the year, are we 3/4 of the way through our expenses? And
yes,
but you can't really do that when you've got that figure in there
yeah, okay,
without an offset.
right. That if you could see how they set that up, Kari, and make it more user friendly.
I can look into that. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm looking at it right now. Are there any other things that stick out at you?
I think we've gone over the ones that I spotted. Did anybody else see any that want to?
I don't see anything.
I know, I did want to, and this is just, future reference. The public safety building, maintenance and electricity,
Mm-hmm.
where it looks like we didn't estimate as well, and hopefully this coming budget year, we're estimating a little bit better.
Yes to both of those things.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
it'll be our first full year.
Yeah,
Hey, electricity rates. I was like,
yeah, it didn't help either.
Yeah, the electricity, we have addressed the next budget.
Okay,
Anymore, to be closer to.
okay, good.
But that's remember when we did this budget, those we had we're just gonna guess.
Yes, we
really have no
did.
idea, so-
We did.
I was running a generator for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, and $6 fuel.
Yeah.
So we'd be using up like $3.
Yeah.
So that brings up an interesting question. I was gonna ask you this. So we put our fuel out to bid. They have taken an awful hit, but we have a guaranteed maximum, right?
We have, so our heating oil.
Yep.
Has a cap.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. What about the propane? I can't remember what that propane did not.
There was some variable in that, but that it was not structured the same. Heating oil did. That was given a maximum rate.
Okay.
I was talking with Dave about the fuel for the trucks, and he had that 1,000 gallons sitting up there that they had purchased, and he finally got the wiring done.
Okay.
Because when fuel hit like 5 something a gallon, he said, yeah, we got fuel here we bought for like 2 something.
Wow.
Yeah, or
Right.
3. So
Anything else for Kari? This was really helpful. Thank you, Kari.
You're welcome.
Could you please confirm that I did get my dog license?
I could, not from my couch, but I can tomorrow.
No, that's okay. I did. I came in.
There's a lot of people that actually are coming in after the first, and it's just a couple dollars extra. Not a big deal, but a lot of people are, so that's good. I like
Yes.
that. So yeah.
Okay.
Next
right,
thing is
well-
taxes, and then on to summer.
Yeah. All right. Taxes are due
May
May
10th.
10th. Last installment. Anything else for Kari? If not, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Yes, you too.
Yeah. Joe Denardo, Public Safety Building Clerk.
Yep, there were two items that we talked about at the last meeting. I have a call into Will Paving regarding the parking lot. I don't know that there's much we're gonna be able to do there. It has to, what Kurt said, the difference in compaction between either the road and the parking area, so
Yeah.
that's what caused that crack. So we'll see what we can do. And then I did talk with Kim at Naylor and Green, and the gentleman that installed the siding on the public safety building is doing work for them on the farmers market building on West Street.
Okay.
And uniquely enough, those panels are the same color and it's the same stuff. So she said they figured out what they need. He doesn't know where they started. Okay, the fact that it's on a corner is some helpful, but if they started on the police station end of the building and came this way, technically you have to take that all apart and then fix the corner. So she said there may be some they can fix it, but there will be some external fasteners that you don't see now to do it. And then she told me the two panels are somewhere around $12,000. And she said that to get two panels here from wherever they are is almost as much money as what the two panels are. So she said to me, would it be, so I said, we discussed this, so would it be a problem if those two panels hitchhike along with the farmer's market panels? And they all come together? And she said, that's not an issue. I said, our only requirement is that is repaired before winter. And she said, so they're working.
Great. Okay.
But we will be dealing with the company that did put them up and the company and whatever. So they should have some firsthand knowledge. And they do this, whatever, but I thought it was funny that the farmer's market is using the same colors.
Yeah.
But so those are the two questions that were out there. Other than that, all good.
Okay.
He should have sold them our panels and we could order a different color panel.
I think there was a disconnect of a year or two on that one.
Yeah. And I don't know what our options were when the building was built,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it'll grow on us, I guess.
All right. John Paul Fagnant. No. Hi, Barbara.
Oops. Yes, hi. Good evening. Get everything straightened away here. We will have a public hearing on the subdivision bylaw on April 23rd. And that will be to repeal the subdivision ordinance that exists now and replace it with this new bylaw. And I'm sure you're going to be fascinated with me retelling the history of all this. And why it took so long. We tried doing it ourselves first, but that was a bit of a quagmire because statute had changed so much and things had been added to the subdivision ordinance that really didn't belong. So that stalled out. That was November of 2024. And subsequent to that, the select board, you decided to for us to give you a bylaw instead of an ordinance for subdivision. That was on Kevin Brown's advice. We did later in 2025, we got a template from the Regional Planning Commission. So we worked with that to flesh out, to give the bylaw some bones. Sent that to Kevin Brown and got his comments back recently, last couple of weeks. And so we've incorporated his suggestions and it should be ready to go. We'll see what the public hearing brings. We have a chance after that to make some changes before we send it along to you and you have your public hearing and all that kind of stuff.
Very good. Okay. Well, that was a lot of work, so thank you very much.
Yeah, I just feel like I have to explain why it took so long.
Barbara, I think you're rubbing something up against your microphone.
Oh.
It's a little, yeah.
Yes, I am. Yes, I
Okay.
am.
Yeah,
Okay,
don't do
Kari,
that.
my apologies. Last week we had a planning commission meeting and we met with some more people about the pocket park. These were people who know a lot about local history, and there were 5 of them. And we made some more good progress on what should go on the signs. They suggested we lose Pocket Park as part of the name.
And that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And they also talked about the need to preserve, especially during cold weather months, the watering trough, the DAR watering trough that we're going to move and put into the park. So we want to look into that. We bandied about a few names for the park, looking at some of the history. It was initially Meads Falls because he was the first white settler there.
Yeah.
Then it became Gookin Falls because that family did a lot of the mill work there. And then it became Center Rutland Falls.
Yeah.
And so we can talk about that later day, what exactly we want to call that.
We've had, speaking of townwide celebration, which of course we weren't, but we've had name the plow contest. So maybe we should invite folks to name this new park. Suggestions, right.
Suggestions.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking when she keeps mentioning the word falls.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what we should just name it, the falls.
The falls.
And if you mention that in town, I think that's good near everybody knows where you're talking about.
The falls. Yeah.
Falls.
Yeah. I think we have a winner, huh? Yeah, we can still do that at townwide celebration. It's always kind of fun to see what
it engages people. So
yeah. Have we heard anything more from Robert Clark?
Well, that's a real question.
Not on the pocket park, no.
Okay. So
his effort's been around the culvert recently. So
yeah.
But that went out to bid, so we should.
Yeah. As we're coming down, we've got to figure out. He's got to get us a number, and then we've got to figure out how we come up with the money to pay for that overlook piece of what he's going to propose. Okay, yeah. Thanks. Maybe that can go on our agenda for next time.
Sure.
Robert Clark's estimate pocket park work.
That would be great. That'd be great. And the planning commission feels a bit overwhelmed by the responsibility of coming up with the language for the signs, but I'm thinking about dividing it up between the different themes and this working in small groups to kind of get that done. It will be a challenge, but it can be done.
Okay. If they have an idea of some other way or some other resource that we should tap to do that, let us know.
Yeah, and the planning commission we don't have Kevin Brown's last set of bills, but we may have some money to hire a consultant, a sign consultant.
Okay.
Just to help us polish up, up our ideas.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. And let's see, I think the only other thing is also on the 23rd, we have a subdivision application. I haven't given it a very close look yet, but it's from the Thomas Dairy folks.
Okay.
And it's correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, it's the main house.
Yeah, there's
So
The surveyor actually got a hold of me. There's some things I gotta look at to make sure it's correct, but
it's the south apartment house.
yeah, there's,
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill tried to convince them just to wait a couple of months and we may have a more simplified, or, easier to read process. But no, they want to move ahead as quickly as they can.
Understood. Any questions for Barbara and the planning commission? Or the planning commission? Okay, in spite of tossing so much stuff at your folks, I noticed that all 4 members who are up for reappointment wanted to be reappointed, and we did. So, thank them for that. And I guess they kind of, well, I wouldn't want to presume, but maybe they don't mind the work quite so much. They're
Right.
active, and we're great.
Right. I just gotta have to throw in some more field visits, and I think I'll
Yeah.
have a more engaged group.
And probably I should stay away occasionally, more, but yeah.
Kind of keeps their feet onto the fire.
Okay. All right. I'm just looking through to see if we have anything else. And so that takes care of we did receive an update on the Pocket Park project. So anything more for Barbara? If not, okay, thank you very much. And please thank the Planning Commission as well.
Okay, thank you. See you later.
All right, Bill Sweet, Town Administrator. Good evening. We have some good stuff here. So what do you want to start with?
We've done well, but we just want to go. And we saw some good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have on the next thing on the agenda and in the packet are the same things, which is the mowing bid. Good grief.
What?
Yeah, that was something.
So,
bid.
What?
And there was a lot of them that were within $1,000 of
Mary has all of the bid, everything that was bid is on her desk. She has all the details for it. So
Don't bore yourself.
I gave you the best summary that I could, based upon the comments that you guys made. So here's where it came out.
Okay.
So if,
Go ahead.
if you look at the front of this page, Bill's got 2 lines, and the bottom portion, it just tells us 2026 totals, 2027 totals for the 2 years, and then B, meeting the bid specs. There were some, this was a long process. Bill read these out. Kurt tried to write them down, and second page in, just trying to get everything.
Right.
One of the things that did come out of our discussion is that we may be working on a bid proposal project for 2 years, similar to paving.
Oh, no, we're definitely gonna.
Where you just fill in
On the blanks.
Yeah, fill in the blanks.
Right.
An actual bid form.
Yeah. Not leave it to them because, well, we had a terrible time. The long and the short of this is the 2 services, the Clark Seasonal Impact and Gallipo Landscaping, are the 2 bids that are within $200 of each other. And I have a hard time making a decision as which way to go.
And they met all of the.
They have met all of the stuff.
Okay.
Their bids were easiest to understand, I would say. As you know, for the past several years, Gallipo Services have been doing it. And then the Clark Services, I don't know if this is the first time they've been or not. I think it is.
Second time.
Okay.
So it's hard to make a recommendation.
Okay. And they're
They're within $210 of each other for
Yeah.
2 years.
yeah,
Yeah, $105 a year.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like.
And have we been satisfied with what Gallipo has done?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Connor has been doing it now
for, I think this is his second time he's bid it. And he worked for the vendor that was doing it before. He bought the company from the person he was working for
Okay.
and continued on. So he's been at least 4 years, if not 6 years or more, that he himself has been doing the properties.
And what do we know about Clark's? Are there representative work sites that can be pointed to?
Other than the fact that he's fire chief's son.
Well, my
Quick, son.
Okay,
And he's very meticulous
He is.
and he does a good job.
okay. Did he do any work on your property?
No, I made my grandson do the good job.
You give it a 2-year bid on it.
All right,
Cheaper
so
to pay.
if I'm hearing this correctly, the building committee is recommending either Clark's Seasonal Impact or Gallipo Landscaping, and finding it difficult to recommend between the two. And they're only, what, $105 apart per year?
Per year.
Yes. Hey,
I guess one of the advantages that Galapagos would have is that he has done it for several years, so that's probably to our advantage.
Does the cemetery as well.
Yeah.
He's gotten that bid over and over again.
he does what Cheney has,
Cheney,
and you've been satisfied with his work as cemetery commissioner.
oh,
there?
yeah.
Have you ever
that makes
tried the lawnmower in the cemetery?
Yeah.
My husband did that cemetery and
He did for
hurt his back and I had to go over and do it.
sense.
So you didn't put in a bid, Peter?
Yeah.
Chance and
He didn't hit he hasn't hit any stones. That's always a
He's not
plus.
damaged done.
Yeah.
Grass in the storm.
So we can't do both. What's your pleasure?
Go for it.
You want me to go? I'm okay with awarding the contract to Gallipo Landscaping
Okay,
this season.
motion's been made. Is there a second? Motion seconded. So this is to award it to Gallipo Landscaping for a 2-year total of $9,290, and they did meet all of the bid specs.
Mhm.
Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Right.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Thanks for sorting this out, Bill.
Yes. Very
Thanks.
I know, right? Like, oh
Okay, we're
gosh.
learning how to do things just a little better.
Oh my goodness, that was.
Yeah, this is what I got for chicken scratch. Trying to keep up.
I mean, who would have thought so many bids?
We had no
never
and-
had that.
And, I'm gonna go make this bid sheet for next time when we're gonna get 2.
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
Whatever.
It'll make it
Hey,
easier.
Bill,
Yes,
don't bother giving me a key.
found it. Good. Good.
Okay, so that's Kara B.
That takes care of B. All right. We took care of D. So, building, so this goes kind of ties in with E on the list too, the War Memorial Project. So the building committee met. You guys want to talk about our meeting with Dave Charnock?
Yeah, we can. So they have actually, it sounded like done a fair amount of work on coming up with some ideas. If you read the report that Bill put together for us, we had a pretty good long, Kurt was here for a little bit longer. I was late in the meeting, so I missed part of it. I was here for the discussion as to, we looked up the weight of marble per cubic foot. And we figured that little memorial out there weighs about 4 tons. So there's, and I don't remember exactly what their thoughts were. Is it to put panels over this?
Yeah, they're thinking like bronze panels over because they can't find anybody that will clean up that stone because of the etchings.
Yeah.
They think if they sandblast it, the etchings will dissipate. So they're talking about recreating the sides and bronze plates and then affixing those to it.
So are they gonna have names?
It'll be, because, it'll be, what I thought from what he said, it'll look just like it does in the stone, only on bronze plates.
Okay, okay.
So,
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
and then there was some idea of, re-landscaping and how it would be set there.
Yeah.
Sealing the top where the flagpole used to be.
Mhm.
If you look at that, there are some hairline cracks in it and stuff like that. So, they gotta come up with a suitable base and make it so, you can, kind of get around it to look at it. And the thing that I never knew, and I went to school here 7 years, and I've been coming to that building, that if you look across the road, there's an identical one. Right over
Really?
there in front of that,
In front of the cemetery building.
right, yeah, identical.
Exact same. That one still has a flagpole in it.
That one still has a flagpole, and if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
I think the
We
lettering.
suggested that with the whole stone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just swap them.
We discussed about having, somebody, to move this and do it that works with marble and stones and would, because that moving a 4-ton block and slinging it and getting what needs to be done and the base and the block are separate. And when you move that and where it's going to be needs to be properly set up. So that's pretty much where they are. But they have been, even though we haven't heard from them, they've actually done quite a bit. And then we did talk about funding it and how that always comes out how we're going to do this. I don't know if it's going to be donations or if we're going to look to the capital improvement fund or what we're going to do. But this is the most progress that I've heard in a long time. So there, and I think that he has pretty good ideas there.
Yeah, he did. He did. And I think he's encouraged to hear that there's as much support as there is.
Yeah.
They kind of stopped because they didn't know what else to do. So,
Okay.
so they were happy to
They
hear
kind of
from us.
have it all planned. It's just gonna have to
Down
do
to
it.
the music they want to play at the rededication ceremony. That's how
Yeah.
far ahead they've looked.
Do
So,
they know what date they want to use? Are we looking at the 250th anniversary of Vermont becoming an
It only gives
independent
us a year.
republic, which is next year?
Maybe.
It depends on how, if the board
So-
wants to jump out and put the money up.
So we're talking about raising that stone 4 feet to put it at the level of the walkway that goes to the front door,
Okay.
and then refilling the front lawn, and then putting some sort of stone patio, something, or poured concrete walkway around it.
Yeah.
So it's
And
gonna require.
changing, the other thing is to change the sidewalk
Yeah.
to concrete from pavement.
Yeah.
So it all kind of matches.
Okay.
It's
Are they at the point of, do they have sketches or do they want us to hire an architect or a landscaper to sketch something
That would
out?
be a landscape architect.
It's kind of sounded like it's probably gonna be something that we do as we go type of. You gotta get the stone up in the air and get it filled around, see what it looks like, and then we
You might
work
want
with
a
it.
plastic stone, see what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get the fill in there and see how much room we have to work with once we reshape the front lawn. We can work with it from there.
We could have him come in and talk to us about a schedule.
So this thing is in marble, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
What about contacting Vermont Marble and see if they can help out?
Yeah, we talked about that if we had to replace the stone, seeing if we could. He had already talked with Keith Barker over in West Rutland, Falcon Memorials.
Yep.
And he kind of had a game plan on how to affix the bronze to it.
Okay.
Plus he can order all the bronze. They do,
Oh,
he
they
orders-
do?
Yeah,
Okay,
he orders
good.
bronze for like.
We were
footplates
picking
and
on
stuff.
his expertise with stones.
Yeah,
He had a little bit more than the rest of us.
Okay.
we deal with them all the time in the cemetery, so.
The good and the bad.
That's right. I've forgotten that
Yeah.
connection you have too.
And every marble is a very nice building material, but it is actually very soft. And, so I like the idea of keeping the stone with the bronze and having it.
Yeah. I
It'll
do
look
too.
very familiar, but it should last quite a while.
Yeah.
Cause that stone is 72 years old.
And we're talking about tying it to modern day technology.
I saw that.
Some page on the website with more of an active list.
Yeah.
I can add and remove.
the discussion the other day was, who do we include on, if we were to carve all the names,
Yeah.
who do we include? How long do you have to live here for? Like, there's a lot of things about inclusion or not, and
Yeah.
it got to be, we don't wanna
that
If
could be a
you're
very hard
current-
thing
If
to,
you just have an
Right.
electronic list.
right,
Yeah.
that's a lot easier
Yeah.
to update.
Yeah, much.
Sounds like they're gonna recreate what's already there.
Yes.
And then put one bronze plate that just has all the branches.
Okay.
Just to tie it together.
That'd be good. What are townspeople going to say about us being in the Marble Valley and putting bronze over marble?
Still marble.
Still, it's,
Marble.
um, longevity.
Longevity, yeah.
Okay.
If that had been done in granite.
Oh, yeah.
they
You
haven't-
know what's even better is slate, because I have seen old slate tombstones. As long as you cap the top so the water doesn't get down and shatter it.
And I don't know the history of this stone, but I'm sure VM was involved with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, in when you think about that, that stone was put there 9 years after the end of World War II, so,
Okay.
they probably had a lot to do with it.
Yes, they did. All right, well, great work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think what do we do next? They're waiting. I guess we just need to get an idea of how much this might cost and what it might.
So I think that it would be worth our time to invite Dave and
I think that'd be great.
and talk to him and see if they've come up with a schedule after the,
Okay.
and if he can lay out a schedule, we could kind of figure out where we're going from there.
Okay.
If you want him at the next meeting or a couple of meetings down the road or at some point.
Which, do you want them on the next meeting?
Yeah, I mean,
Moving the
This-
thing
this
along
is-
a little
this
bit?
is-
Yeah,
kind of got some momentum now,
it
so I
does.
think
Let's do it.
stay right on it.
Okay.
23rd?
Yeah.
Or when he's available, if he's not, whenever he's available.
Okay, great. Very good. Thanks, folks.
Next in your packets, number 5 is follow-up from GE. And their environmental health and safety person came by and talked for a little while about their sewer allocation. And they provided this letter and said that they have addressed some issues and some metering and have figured a lot of things out, and they don't believe they're going to be exceeding this year. I was able to get from Rutland City their first quarter usage and calculated it and then extrapolated it out for a total year, which puts them right back where they were before.
So it was a metering and maybe leak.
Potentially.
Okay.
So they're asking for us to not obligate them to purchase the additional allocation for the year and review it again in 2027.
Well, that's not what it says. The letter says we request an extension of 60 days, allowing GE to present data to Rutland Town no later than Friday, May 29th, 2026.
So they're asking, yeah, so he had said, if you want the additional data, they need to put it together. Or we can say, we're happy with the results that we're seeing in the first quarter. And
Well, I'm somewhere in the first quarter results are great, but tell us what you did that got them back down.
Sure.
Like, was it a leak? Was it a metering? Is this something that's going to recur?
Sure.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot, but I'd like a little, that was a big bill.
it was.
And there was a lot of extra.
Yeah.
Water there.
What do you want to
What
do with
happens
this?
with that? Do they pay for that retroactively or?
So what the historical practice has been is that once at the end of the calendar year, I get the usage from Rutland City for all of our connected sewer users. I get all those numbers and figure out their gallons per day usage as the ordinance tells us to calculate it. I then compare that against their actual usage and see if they have exceeded their purchased allocation. Every property that's connected to city sewer in the town owns a gallon per day allocation. And then based upon that, most are under, most always are under, and there's a few that go over. We send them a letter saying, hey, you're over. This is telling you your allocation has been redetermined, and you have to ask the board to for an appeal of that, which is what they did.
most businesses are within enough that, or the usage is such that that's what it actually is. And they've purchased it. One year we had Portland Glass had a large bill, and they said, we absolutely know we had a toilet leaking, and can we put it off till next year? We put it off till next year, and they were right back where they were supposed to be. So that was fine. There's been a couple, Eco Car Wash was the last one that was a large one. And then a couple years ago, Alderman's was a large one for their car wash. They were just used a lot more, and their business got busier, so they used a lot more. So they purchased the additional allocation to be back in line.
But what happens with the fact that there was an overage in the past, and we pay the city for that? Or
No,
there's just
no, we own a large gallon per day allocation to go to the city. The city doesn't meter what's coming into them. They don't know where it's coming from, because by the time it gets to the wastewater treatment plant, there's no way to know where it comes from. So our calculations are based upon their water meters. GE's a little unusual. They have like 11 or 13 different water meters. So there's a lot that goes into that calculation. But we don't owe anything to the city for GE being over. There's no additional bill. GE has paid the water bill because they get a water bill every quarter based upon their actual usage. They've paid that to the city, where we don't have anything to do with that end of it.
You would, well, if it was a leak, their water, it would be post meter. There's no one main meter coming off the main. So they have different taps off that
all
main.
over the place. They live like it's 11, I think it's 11 or 13. It is absolutely the most complicated one to try and calculate, because there's so many of them. They have deduct meters because they have evaporators, so they get credit for evaporator. Like it is not an uncomplicated system. There's a lot that goes to it. So the guy, Tom, I've worked with him on a lot of other things before. He was like, they're confident that they have addressed the issue. I certainly can ask him to provide additional data. But before that date, and find out what happened. And like I said, for assurance is not going to happen.
They could let us know what they did.
Sure.
Yes.
We are not, as the town, for them going over, do not have any financial responsibility because of that. They've paid that. If they don't pay their water bill, the city goes after them for collections. Like that's not up to us. And even though we have about 180,000 gallons per day left of our allocation to allow businesses to acquire, that's not even close to what we use. We have a total gallons per day allocation. We don't come close to that. Like so what businesses are allowed to discharge versus what they actually do is a big difference.
So we could grant them the extension of 60 days request. Just kind of an outline of what their remediation was that brought the number down.
Sure.
Is there a motion to that effect?
Do we have to make a motion?
Because they're formally requesting it, let's do it.
So move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor of the extension, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-7.
I'll take care of that.
The city's treating so much stormwater that you have no idea what the actual.
Do you see those? Speaking of stormwater, what they said the other day, they just put out there that they are putting in huge stormwater collection tanks in Meadow Street to collect the stormwater and offset it. They're digging up the baseball fields for the summer.
You remember, Mary? I think it was you and I went to the city talking with whoever was running, and he said that if they allowed them, because they have like 2 tanks underground that they do treatment, and one of the tanks was down, and so they had a big storm, and they just dumped everything into there, and they had no discharge of raw sewage in Otter Creek, or not, because they could just do it and then treat it. And the city still maintains that if they were allowed to treat the stormwater and not separate it, when it goes into Otter Creek, it's actually cleaner than if you just let stormwater alone, if they separated it, because they take everything out of it that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Like
the cost of running all of the stormwater through their sewer system must be.
But that's what it's actually less expensive if they can
I suppose.
store
that's
it,
all. Yeah.
then try to separate those two systems
Oh,
throughout the whole
I
system.
remember when Bellas Falls Village went
Yeah.
through the stormwater separation. What a project.
I mean, the fact that
Yeah.
they can store the stormwater, they will have no surge discharge, which
Mhm.
they do, and then be able to treat it. Actually, I think it's gonna be better for the Otter Creek than.
Combined sewer overflow, has been a discussion of planning commission about signage for the pocket park.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we handle that? How do we notify? So it'd be great if it just doesn't become a problem anymore. That'd
It
be
would be
great.
wonderful. Okay.
Welcome. Next thing in your packet, we talked about the local option tax rates.
Yay.
I went and found them, and we do indeed have sales, meals and alcohol, and rooms. So we have,
That's
It
tobacco.
was the alcohol.
well, tobacco, we don't have, there's no local option tax on tobacco.
Oh, well,
No.
But my question was on
I
the
know.
alcohol.
Right,
so
so
we're getting them all.
we're getting them all. What we can, we are getting what we can get.
Okay.
So there you go.
Very good news. Thank you.
Yes,
We've been doing that since '09.
we have. The next thing in your packet, came back to us from the Regional Planning Commission on the comments on the land use map.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Okay. You will recall, and I think it was Kurt who said, how can we have a village center
Yeah.
if we don't have zoning? And so I posed that question without, and I was very careful to say, we don't necessarily disagree.
Yeah, like,
And so we did get a response that basically we're kind of teed up to, have, we are, Center Rutland is a growth center potentially. So okay, we've gone as far as we can with it. And frankly, I think if growth is going to occur, that would be a very good place to have it happen, some infill over there.
there's very little.
I mean,
really-
it's not gonna do anything because you don't have the
Right.
whole point of the tier one is to make it so
Right.
it's exempt from Act 250,
So-
but we have no zoning, so it's
So we're still not going to treat it, but
Yeah.
should we one day get zoning, then we're all set to have that as a growth area.
yeah.
So, I don't know. Okay. So what else do we have? We're down to G, rental housing code, and that's awaiting, I think, JP's return.
Yep.
Or to discuss the plan to reappraise, the Patriot Nemrick.
Yeah, Marcia said she should have something for the next meeting.
Okay. We did the pocket park board to discuss the disaster recovery. That's an ongoing thing.
It
And
is.
when you're ready,
I'm ready, you'll know.
select board project list. I'm just trying to look for something.
Next Friday or next Wednesday, right, Bill? We have a sidewalk committee meeting.
15.
It's Wednesday.
Yes.
Our subdivision ordinance, is that a thing? Okay, that should be added. Then
So we can take it off?
That's right.
You want me to add it so I can take it off?
Yes, yes.
Like,
And I think we did the building committee.
Yep.
We've got a couple more things in our packet. We've got the
Oh, you've got the same sun and solar.
Same sun.
Yeah, that's that. And then I got a couple other things, but I think that should be, oh, the other thing in the packet was the committee list. I gave you
okay,
the committee
good.
list, yeah. And then, I did, break the news to our pound keeper that he is no longer needed. He was surprised to hear that he was still the pound keeper at one point. But, he appreciated the, I said, we thank you for your dedicated service over the years. And he was very happy to hear that he's no longer needed. He said the biggest problem was his kids wanted to keep the dogs that never came there. So he was happy that doesn't happen. Did not order him a cake. No, we didn't do that. After at the last meeting, you had approved the VLCT grant application. I sent it in on Wednesday. We got approved on Friday. All of the stuff is here now. Showed up. The last thing showed up today. So there's a pile of work to do, and I've got someone that's going to do it. And that's
Terrific.
amazing timeline. So that was
cameras for the
transfer station and the fire station. We're going to cover them well. Yes. We're speaking about the drone before. It is here.
Ooh.
Fortunately, the batteries are on back order, so we can't Quite yet, but
Really long course.
but it looks cool. So we have it here. Jared came over today and we went through it. And yeah, the vendor actually in New York City, they're closed for Passover, so they'll be back open on Friday, and when we'll find out the ETA for those. But that's all here. So that's all set. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but we made an addition to the hallway. I got some images of all of our town seal and all of the department seals printed and up there, and I've had a lot of good comments about them. They look really good, and some departments want to use those for other things already. So it looks really nice. So a lot of good comments. But we have so the town seal, we have fire, police, emergency management, highway, and rec up there. So
We have
all
no seal for the select.
the select board does not have its own seal, no. But I will feel you.
Like a big veto or no.
I mean, we can make one if you like to.
I think so better.
Just a big picture of a Rowe chair.
Yeah, right. Okay, so a couple other things. We are down to two. We were down to two needed open positions for fence viewer, two open fence viewer positions, and the bus. I got a call from Dave Bauer. He wanted to be the wearer of coal, the inspector of wood, and a fence viewer. I called him back. He did not return my phone call, but I said welcome to come in. We did tell him we had a wearer of coal. He felt we needed another one to verify. Okay. So I invited him to come talk with you all, but he didn't come tonight. So we may see him. I don't know. But we still need two fence viewers, and our appointment to the Marble Valley Regional Transit District, the bus.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody for that. And
well, we had somebody who was interested.
that was
Yeah.
I forget what his name was, but I reached out to him. He did not get back to me.
Okay.
So
and we wanted to follow it with Lemieux. We wanted
Josh
to follow
Lemieux, yes.
up with him.
I did. I reached out to him. He did not get back to me.
Well, let's try him again.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
No problem. Fire District 11, which you all know, of course, is Kathy Drive, has a single private fire hydrant on their system. The operator is James McLaughlin, and late last year he did not know that he needed to get it inspected, but now he does, and he did day before yesterday, and it was tested March 31st. It is in proper operating condition. The city recommends he paint it, but that was the only thing, and he would like to turn it over to the town. So this has come before. We've talked about the Public Works Committee's talked about this. We have two that we would probably consider this for, but he's asking us to take it over. He sent us a letter saying, please consider this a request to take over our hydrant. All I thought was paint it. and we'll take it.
Yeah.
Is that in the right way?
It is in the right way. It's right at the intersection when you turn into there. Do you know where Kathy Drive is? It's a little development behind Home Depot. But the only way you can get to it is down.
North Street, take a left.
Yeah, it's Hillside, North Street. It's yeah. Yeah.
So
And we went
here's a
down there for
question.
bedding fire.
If there is a fire there and we own the hydrant, are we responsible for then to the fire district for using their water to put out the fire?
We have.
It's on the city main.
It has to be.
It's on the city main, and it's no different than any of the rest.
Yeah.
Of the incidents in Central Rutland for Fire District number 1, there has never been a bill from the fire district for that service.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's gotta be a city main.
It's a city.
It has to be a city main.
Through there.
They
No
don't.
different.
There's only a half a dozen houses on it. They don't.
It's a great.
It's not well. It's not fed by a well. So.
I don't even know why it's a fire district. And just the city water.
Yeah, but I mean, any of those, something that I'm okay with taking it over if we need to vote or not vote.
Well, I think we would need to, because we would need to stay any conditions.
How many others are we going to be asked to take over?
There's only one other one that's a potential, but that needs to get inspected. And that's the one in front of Honda.
Oh, yeah.
But
that one we should.
But again,
Yeah,
they,
probably
I
should.
talked to them again this morning and they're like, oh, we forgot about it. So they are scheduling their inspection of it.
That one I would really, because that's a critical hydrant.
That would be.
East side
That
roof.
one got used.
It got
So-
used
Yeah,
really
it
good. Work.
We know that one works.
So it wouldn't
See,
matter.
see, I thought when they built that, they were just going to run a service line to the building. And in the Act 250 permit where it asked, that was my recommendation, that they put a hydrant there. So I believe that's either an 8 or 10-inch main that they ran from Seward Road up.
We have the schematic somewhere, but
Yeah.
and
It's got to be at least an 8 in that hydrant. But I thought that, and I don't know why we didn't get it at the time, that I thought the town was going to get it at the time
Oh,
we did it, because if you go up Seward Road, there are 2 hydrants on either side of the road. And when Granite Group built their building, I asked them for a hydrant, and the guy kind of looked at me funny, and I said, if the hydrant's on your side of the road and the town used to use that hydrant, we don't have to close the road. And they put a hydrant on their side of the building. So that's how we get,
it's great. We got all sorts of them up there.
right, yeah. And they're off that 10-inch main, which is good.
Okay.
So, so I
So
move that
that's-
we take over the hydrant at Kathy Drive.
Motion's made
After
it's
After it's painted. Yeah, that's our only condition is you paint it
red.
red. Yeah. Because if you're painted
Fair enough.
black,
And
that
he
means they're
did,
no good.
did he provide the certificate of inspection? So we
Yes,
know it
the
passed?
city,
Okay.
the city did it for me.
Okay.
So
Right, and then we'll just add it to the list the city does for us, right?
So motion's been made
Correct.
to accept the hydrant on Kathy Drive. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
The hydrants at Windmere,
Yep,
those are considered private?
they are currently.
Okay,
Or are they city?
Nope, they're private.
they're private. So they have to get them tested.
Yes, they do.
And do they?
And they do, yes.
Very good, okay.
Yes.
So in the course of our discussion about the wetland and the gentleman that was there, we discussed the taking over the road, and they're still working on it. And he told us that one of their members said, well, the town really wants to take this road over. And I said, you're misinformed. We are not chomping at the bit to take this road over. And I said, if your intent for the town to take this road over is just to get it paved, then you guys need to meet with Dave. If that's all you want, and work out with the highway that they could get that paved as part of the town's paving at their expense.
Yeah.
And, you know, Kurt and I both tried to explain to him, and Dave chipped in, is that the uniqueness of that, you know, the water, sewer and everything buried up there
Yeah.
and what's going on. And I said, and this is something that we need to moving forward, is if this is going to become, you know, other developments where this is going to be part of it, the town needs to be involved.
Yeah.
Because this thought that, well, we're never going to ask the town to take the road over is not there. They want to build the road. It should be built to the town specification, which are state specification. And if they're putting infrastructure in, somebody needs to record this. That should have all been written down.
As
You know,
built. Yeah.
and that would have saved them. So we're going to see where that goes now. Because the other thing that goes with that, there's a huge amount of maintenance to that right away.
Yeah.
Stone line ditches and a lot of stuff there that if we take that road over, that's going to be ours. So anyway.
One other thing,
Yeah.
few weeks ago, months ago, maybe, the town fire department relocated its repeater to the city fire station tower. There was a lot of work that went into that, amazingly. So, the city has asked, has now provided us with a license agreement to use their tower, which there is no cost. There's no, but it's 5 pages plus signature page. So I'm assuming, I just got this, so I'm assuming you'd like us to send this to Kevin to look at it.
Please.
It's pretty funny to read. I mean, for considering what it is, it's pretty funny to read it, but there's no cost for electricity, there's no cost for rent, there's, it's month to month, but it's just, so
A lot of paperwork.
it's a lot of paperwork.
For a city with no attorney.
Well,
They may be covering their own
The,
license issue
the
there.
city fire chief, when he came to bring this, lamented on that fact that what it cost to get this created from outside council,
Oh,
but be that as it may,
They did it themselves.
we have, they have asked us for this. It's, they were very cordial about putting it up there. We did get permission ahead of time to put it up there.
I figured you probably did.
Just showed up one
Wasn't
night.
sure.
Ethan's just like, yeah, it's fine, it's fine.
Never know the difference.
No,
Run the extension cord in the window, plug it in.
I thought theirs was up on, I thought they had stuff up on Sheldon Towers.
No, they have a repeater on Pico,
Yeah.
but no, their stuff is on their station, on their tower, and now,
I thought they moved on to the Sheldon Towers because that's the highest point.
Yeah. No.
The city PD.
City PD is, yeah.
Oh,
I think we still won't want that.
Yeah.
okay,
But no, that it works much better there.
okay.
So they've asked us, so I will,
So if you send it to Kevin, but also stick it on the agenda for next
yes,
meeting.
no problem.
Yeah, it's only 5 pages. He can. do
It's only 5 pages. It should only take them 6 to 10 months.
And I had one big one. So the recent incident with injured feline. Are you involved with that up, it might take care of that. So do we have some kind of policy or some kind of, I know Mike came up and got it, but, I just didn't know what the town, so when people ask, cause I didn't know where to send them, so I sent them to you.
Okay,
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's sick and injured animal, find a place to bring it.
yeah,
Or we have
Yeah.
to,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there was an injured cat. at my
Yeah.
daughter's, and
Yeah.
She didn't know if it was somebody's cat.
Yeah,
because-
I know.
or whatever, so I don't know.
yeah. People just drop cats off at the barn all the time. God,
It's not exactly something we encounter.
yeah,
So, and in the past, Eastwood and Eastwood. On back, up on East Christian Road.
okay,
Rob was always really good to us. If it was like a emergency. Taking care of the animal and then we'll deal with the paperwork later.
You know, because I had another call last spring, which was kind of a unique one, was a injured possum
Hmm.
with little possums. So the lady didn't know what to do with this critter. And I think that, because it's a wild animal, you've got to get a hold of the
Fish and
game-
Wildlife.
Fish and Wildlife.
Yep.
Yeah, if it's domestic, we'll deal with it. If it's anything else, call Fish and Wildlife. And
Yep.
they'll usually turn around and call us again, and be like, yeah, we can't get out there for a while. Can you go to extra for us?
We're out
Um,
doing
I
around the
have-
Reservoir. Can you go deal with that, please?
Anything, I do have a 5 minute executive session on, I'm sorry, potential pending litigation.
I was heading for
Could've,
it.
you could've. Well, you still don't have to make you don't have to make a motion to go into executive session, and then what could I do then? So it's up to you.
Move, we go into executive session
For 5 minutes.
for 5 minutes flat.
And seconded, all in favor, please say aye. Aye, motion carries. Okay, we're back on the record at 8:47 ish. Is there a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Motion's made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Right.
All right, motion carries. Good evening. Thank you.